pop on top of the countertop.
Never spill.
Just make sure you don't.
I don't.
It's happened here in this studio on a number of occasions.
I'm sure there are probably careless people who've walked in here.
Never say
At the
never.
very desk.
Never say never.
No, you're right. It can happen.
It's a friendly reminder.
This is the first time I've had one soda like in, I don't know, weeks and weeks. I just
Why
had
would
it.
that be?
Huh?
Why would that be the first time in weeks and weeks?
I just don't drink it anymore. I just
And
not
why
healthy.
is that?
It's just not healthy for you.
It's not.
No, I just don't like it. I mean, I like it, but I don't like. I just stay away from it because it's got too much sugar. But I just had a craving.
Get diet pop.
I can't stand. I would rather drink motor oil.
Oh, see, it's just the opposite.
No, I mean, I know everybody has a particular thing about it.
Because
honestly,
regular pop tastes like maple syrup. How do you drink that at all?
I don't. That's what I'm saying. I have.
You said you did, and you are now.
I
That's like
have,
maple syrup.
but no, I would rather drink
Diet's
motor
the
oil.
only way to go. Diet it has a nice, crisp, clean
Yeah,
taste.
I'm
Now
glad you like it.
They got that aspartame in it or something.
Yeah, it's really
like
good for you.
That's
Anyway, no, it's just it's a treat today. So
you're just treating yourself.
I am. I just had a cup of soup, and that was all I had for lunch. So just
It's the new Mark Rosen.
I'm trying, man. Right. You got to do everything you can to stay ahead of the Grim Reaper.
You're how old now? 71.
Yeah, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, you don't. I can understand why. Artificial hip, artificial
I
knee.
don't have an artificial hip.
You're losing your hair. You have sleep apnea.
My hair has grown back fully.
Okay, right. Okay.
Yeah, and a lot of people in their 30s and 40s have sleep apnea.
Do you feel like you're in your 40s, or how do you feel? No. Okay.
No, because I mean,
because you look like it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that, but no, I don't.
You didn't think I was serious, did you?
No, I didn't think you were serious. Well, take care of my skin. I'm going to, I go see an esthetician every.
Yeah. A what?
Esthetician.
What is that?
They do work on your face to get rid of all the clogged pores and all that stuff. And
you pay for that?
Hell yes. Yeah, I mean, I stay out of the sun for the most part now. There's nothing worse than sun damage, dear. I mean, if you don't see, and honestly, this is one of those things.
I thought you were golfing now. I thought you had a membership in the golf
I'm
club.
going to. As soon as my toe gets healed up, I'd be up. It doesn't mean I can't wear a cap and put sunscreen on.
What happened to your toe?
I'm saying as soon as that heals up.
Oh.
I'm not going to. It's a non-topic. It doesn't matter.
I'm trying to figure out what happened to your toe again? You had surgery?
Yeah, I had surgery on my toe last Friday.
Okay.
I had a.
I
probably broke it years and years ago, and it calcified.
I hadn't heard much about it.
I haven't talked about it unless you bring it up. I want to talk about it.
All right.
Just healing up, so I got to get the stitches out. No big deal.
The trade deadline in Major League Baseball is a long time from now.
Yeah.
If you're a Twins fan, you would hope it was tomorrow and that there are 8 hitters that you could trade for. This is a terrible baseball team right now.
Well, right now is
they can't hit.
No,
they can't play defense. Mark, what's wrong with this team?
Dear Betty, beloved Betty,
are you one of the pull-out pocket protectors that's getting a bit nervous now with what's happening with this club? They're not playing well at all right now.
Well, they're 19 and 17, and it's obviously it's not the worst record, but you happen to be in the worst division in baseball, and Detroit's beating Cleveland today, so they're going back and forth, and the Tigers will be in second place, and every team is gaining a half game every time they win. The Twins lose. I don't think it's something. I look at that lineup and I go, this is not going to be sustainable, obviously, and they have to get better. They can't get any worse.
Do you think it's a sleeping giant waiting to explode?
No, I mean, I think it's somewhere in between. I know that they brought up the farmer kid today who got hit by got hit in the jaw.
Yeah, major surgery.
Yeah, man.
A little more.
Well, he's out. He's up. Miranda's down.
That surgery was a bit more delicate than your toe. But
just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Holy cow. I really don't know. I don't know. When in all your baseball playing days, I remember I was over here in St. Louis Park. I was playing not that far from here. Little League Baseball. And I remember taking ground balls. I happened to be playing third base this game, or before the game, your coach is hitting ground balls to you.
This was when now when you were in high school?
Little League.
Little League. Okay.
No, but I just remember the ball took a hop and hit me right in the eye. One of those things where it just took a bad hop and before the game, and I was proud to show off my shiner and everything.
Right.
But
Tough
man,
guy.
I'll tell you what, it was even as a 11-year-old or whatever, getting back in the batter's box and just seeing a baseball come at you. some of those kids could throw pretty hard. I mean, I truly don't know. I mean, I've heard Farmer do an interview.
I don't know how he does it either. I would
mentally, when you get hit like that, and you're still feeling the effects of getting hit by a 90-plus mile an hour fastball in your jaw. Now, he's going to wear the flap. He wasn't wearing it beforehand, and he's obviously going to wear it now.
That's a good idea.
It might be a good idea. Maybe a betting helmet. But I think the mental part of it is going to be interesting. I haven't seen the lineup. I don't know if I assume he's playing tonight. That's why they called him up and sent Miranda down. Someone's got to play third base tonight.
Miranda's been struggling bad.
And that's
really
been surprising to me. Because I thought,
again, all the preseason prognostications by the Pohlad pocket protectors, he was about to emerge as the next Brooks Robinson. He was going to be so good in the field. No, I would say
Pohlad pocket protectors. No. You expect a kid like that.
They get too hopeful about players just because they're signed by the Twins. They're high draft picks.
What are you talking about?
Anything you read. Athletic, Star Tribune, you read, everybody was high on this Twins club.
That's okay to be high.
We talk about we have the best farm system in the game. We have we're deep and talented. We have all these guys. Miranda was a budding superstar. He's now down in the minor leagues.
I don't think anybody called him a budding superstar. They called him a budding potential super solid major league player. I don't know anyone who called him a budding superstar. Mm-hmm. I mean, he just was hit. You
were high on him. You loved him.
I am, and I still am. Players go through. There's a long, long list of players who didn't cut it right away and got sent to the minors, and eventually came back.
Well, we better hope that.
And it's just collectively, and I think when you're as the late great Jerry Burns used to call them, the big knockers. I mean, the Carlos Correas of the world. Joey Gallo.
He's batting 185 right now.
It's abysmal, and he's got a history of
how much money he's making. You have any idea what kind of dough?
30-some million. I know he's pulling in a lot of money.
200 was it 230?
Yeah, he had said it last night. I would boo me too. Yeah. But I mean, it's you see this stuff happen once in a while, and I'm not going to overly panic because it's early May, and again because they're in a lousy division. There's a lot more room for error, a lot more room for them to, as long as the pitching holds up, and you hope the bats warm up. Yeah, they're not murder's row. They don't have the lineup that a lot of the better teams in the American League have, including, or the National League, including the one they're facing right now. And this is when I said yesterday, I said the schedule's getting a lot tougher. The Padres are a solid team. The Cubs are kind of revitalized. They're coming to town this weekend. Much better lineups than what the Twins are putting out there.
It sounds like you're telling me we're in trouble.
Well, it's all relative.
I think we're in trouble.
Well, what do you mean by in trouble? Of what?
I think we're in a June swoon in May, and it's going to continue. I predicted this team would go 80 and 82, and I think I was being too kind.
Well,
I think this team might be lucky to win 75 games.
I had them as a wild card team, and I'm not backing off of that. I mean, but in order to probably be a wild card team, they probably have to win their division. I think their pitching is good enough that they'll be very competitive all year. Mm-hmm. And it's just a matter of time. And you can't imagine that all these guys, I never understood how collectively a team can remain in a slump like this, that at least one or two guys would be, knocking the ball around the park a little bit. But they haven't even, like I said, they haven't been making loud outs. They haven't even been hitting the ball with authority. So, they go back. I mean, baseball, it's a
funny game.
Well, I mean, the stats don't lie. I mean, that's why they still have box scores, because you see it and it's there, and you get your average. You got the run scoring. Baseball more than any other sport. I mean, people still don't understand, and I don't, quarterback rating. They go, this guy's got sometimes quarterback rating.
Well, that's why.
And I just go, okay. I just shrug my shoulders. And go, that doesn't. If it passed my eye test about seeing the Patrick Mahomes of the world or the Burrows, or look at the top
That's
quarterbacks.
That's why the ball guys invented all WAR and WISP and all that.
I can't stand it.
That stuff's all invented to make players look better than they really are.
I don't care about that.
The only number it makes is, do you get on base a lot? Do you drive runs in? Do you score? Do you steal bases? Do you field? Are you a five-tool player?
Well,
that's what.
I mean, again, you have to have Buxton, Correa, Polanco. Those three guys in particular have got to be the catalysts for this team to get going offensively. Obviously, you can throw in a Kepler and a Gallo and 3 other guys, but those are the three. Those are the three guys that you're counting on. Polanco started out well when he came back, but, no, I don't anticipate this continuing. Obviously, they're going to break out at some point, and again, they have the benefit of being in this bad division, so they can have a little more leeway. So there you go. Pablo Lopez has to.
I was hoping for a little bit more of a rah-rah speech from this team was going to be able to turn things around. That's what we're all looking.
I'm trying.
We turned our lonely eyes to you.
Well, if I said that, then I'd be one of those full-head pocket protectors at the moment. And I think it's just, I'm not totally discouraged. I'm not fast-forwarding to October like you are.
I'm depressed.
I know, you're down. Don't worry, the NFL schedule will be released tomorrow night. You'll be happy.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with more with the legendary one, Mark Rose, and 10 to being the common man right here on The Fan.
So much for all your highbrow, Marxist ways. Just use me up and then you...
The Fan.
Attacked courtesy of the Bradshaw and Bryant inbox, KFAN text line. I just read them as I get them, Mark. That's all I do.
What a chore.
I didn't author this. Subject line, Rosen constantly gives Minnesota teams a pass. Comment, I'm so sick of Rosen and other people in the media acting like the Twins are allowed to struggle because they play in a lousy division. They play in such a lousy division, then go win the division by double digits and have it wrapped up by September 1. This club obviously isn't that good if we can't separate ourselves in this lousy division.
What did I say that's any different than that?
I don't know. I wasn't listening. I was just waiting for my turn to talk.
I'm not quite sure I presented it like, well, this is... I said they're fortunate to be in this division right now where there's struggles. If they were in another division, like, let's say the American League East, considering the Twins are 19-17, they would be in last place right now. The Yankees are in last place in the American League East. Take a deep breath when you say this, because Tampa Bay, after that incredible start, is still 29-8. The Yankees are 20-17. They are 9 games out of first place. The Twins are 19-17. They're in first place. So, of course, and then look at the West. I mean, it's not quite as dominant. I mean, a couple surprise teams, really, because Texas and the Angels are coming back this year. Oakland might be the worst team in baseball. They're going to be moving to Vegas. But yeah, it's relative because, I'm sure the Yankee fans aren't happy because they're 9 games out and they have a long road to climb, even into being mentioned as the playoff type team. The Red Sox and the Yankees are bringing up the rear right now, not by much, but they are. Of course they're fortunate to be in this division. And that doesn't mean that it's the acceptance of running away with it. I mean, I think Cleveland was, or the White Sox were favored to win this division this year. That the Twins are, I'm not saying they're underachieving because of their lack of hitting right now. Their pitching has been way ahead of the curve from what anyone expected. And that's the one shining, bright moment, part of their game that you can rally around a little bit if you continue to pitch like that. You got to believe that collectively, if they don't get any better, they'll be down in the basement. Chasing the awful Kansas City Royals, who along with Oakland are the worst teams in the league. How about the Cardinals? It's another team.
The rich tradition of Cardinals.
13-24. My goodness. That's not acceptable in St. Louis for a great baseball.
Well, it shouldn't be acceptable anywhere, to be honest.
No, it isn't. But I mean, especially in St. Louis, where the baseball's king in St. Louis. It always has been. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not making any excuses for the team. I just got through saying I think it's up to the 3 guys that have to kind of rally the troops a little bit. And, it's not going to be easy this week. I mean, Padres are a pretty good team. But they got to figure it out. They have the same record as the Twins, actually.
You might owe me $12 after tomorrow night.
I wouldn't doubt it. you got an 85% chance. Well, not so much tomorrow night, but by the end of the series, I think Phoenix may win. But the team that wins Game 5, I just saw the stat again, 85% of the time they win the series.
Yeah.
It's kind of a sucker bet, but that's okay. It's only $12.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I told you I
tried to tell you Booker ain't going to shoot 85%.
No, he's not. And give
you got caught up in Booker mania, and I get it.
Caught up in it.
That's but you said, look at Booker.
He's been that good,
right? But
we'll see if he can come back. No, and give Denver credit because they did a different job defending him.
Correct.
They got in his face. They didn't want to make it. They wanted to make it much more uncomfortable for him to bring the ball up the court. And it is as Booker and Durant go, so do the Phoenix Suns. Denver's got a better team. They're the number 1 seed, and I told you when I watched them play against the Wolves, I like these guys. I like watching them.
You should have known a Kiki Vandeweghe coach club would come up with a way to slow Booker down.
I hope. I really do. I'd like to see Denver get to the NBA Finals. Actually,
go ahead.
I just think that the intriguing team. Obviously, the Lakers play tonight in Golden State, and all sorts of theories about the Golden State Warriors are big favorites tonight, even though they're down 3-1 in the series. That the conventional wisdom is by the third quarter that Anthony Davis and LeBron will be sitting on the pines. I'm going, I don't know about if it's a close game. Why would you want to do that?
What about this?
Yeah.
What if you just don't play LeBron in street close tonight? You bench them because you're going to lose this game.
I think that's idiotic.
Huh?
Why? You don't know you're going to lose this game.
One guy's 38 years old.
Yeah, all the reason why they want to close the series out tonight and maybe get a little bit of rest.
Yeah, but what if all of a sudden they give everything they've got and they lose? Now it's 3-2. You go back to LA, you're tired, then you lose that one. Now you lost the series. The important game is Game 6. I say rest LeBron.
Yeah, well, you and Mike Greenberg are like...
Greenberg and I get along. Also, if I'm Miami, I turn up the heat inside the stadium. Not only do you have the heat and humidity in your favor, but then when you crank up the heat, it's even more. Yeah. That's why they call them the Miami Heat.
The Knicks are frauds.
Well, these numbers, you just stated that, 82 or 85% of the time that the team that wins Game 5 goes on to win the series. Well, here are some numbers that I saw today. They contradict each other to a certain extent. The one numbers was Steve Kerr's record when he's down, when he's playing in coaching elimination games.
Okay.
He's 7-2 overall, 6-0 in the West. So in any Western Conference playoff series, a best of 7, when he's been facing an elimination game, he's won.
Yeah.
He's 7-2 overall, which means those 2 losses obviously happened in the NBA Finals. One was to the Cavs and one was to Toronto. But then there's another stat that I just saw a few minutes after that. Golden State is 1 in either 13 or 1 in 14 in Game 7 eliminations. So in other words, none of these statistics mean what Steve Kerr is, how he's coached a club in elimination games in the past has no bearing on tonight's game.
Zero.
And what Golden State has done as a franchise over the years, that's 14 different times they faced elimination, has no bearing on tonight's game. It's fun fodder to look at, but I don't think any of it matters in what happens tonight's game. If Steph goes off, if the Splash Brothers are brilliant, they're going to win the game. If LeBron and street clothes are off the charts, then they're going to win the game.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, this has been quite considering that the Lakers were, scratching and clawing, and it brings up the whole topic of how important the regular season is. And as we know, the Wolves had them on the ropes in that play-in game, and were up by 15 and really should have closed them out that game. They didn't, but that's a whole other topic. But credit the Lakers. I didn't think they had it in them, and for LeBron to be instrumental again and being that guy and having the bench, and Anthony Davis is playing like a maniac. I mean, he's been amazing. But I expect Golden State to win tonight, but very well should be the Lakers and Denver in the Western Conference Finals.
Hit that bet thing. You
for
like
what?
Golden State tonight?
Do I want Golden State tonight?
Say, you said bet.
Yeah, I think Golden State will win tonight.
Okay.
Oh, you want the Lakers?
$4. I'll make a $4 bet with you right now. I'll take the Lakers.
Let me see let me check. Do you have cash on you?
I will
The
tomorrow
people
if
carry
I lose.
the people carry cash
Yeah, I
on
have
them
some with
anymore.
me. Yeah, I do.
I carry cash.
Well, I always do. I mean,
I know there are people. Most people
are you
don't anymore.
Are you familiar with valet parking?
Oh, I'm very
Let me tell
familiar
you
with
how it
valet
works.
parking.
Let me tell you
How
how it
does
works
that
in
work,
the room.
Common?
Well, you got to have 25. Dark Star used to say you should always carry $100 in your pocket. You never
Right.
know how much you're going to have to tip.
Yeah.
$4?
$4. I'm in.
10 to beat.
This is
alert.
classic.
He just wants to keep giving you money.
Alert power trip
Power
bets.
trip bets.
It's a $4 bet.
Is
I
this
got
the
Lakers
lowest
to
bet wager ever made for
Well, I'm
power
not as
trip bet?
confident in this one because it
No,
is
but
a game.
So this is a straight up, which I really appreciate.
I like straight up. Well, that's why it's $4.
Well, exactly.
That's a lot of money to me.
I understand that it's a candy bar.
More than a candy bar.
A cup of coffee these
That's
days.
a couple of. That's a package of number 2 pencils for when Baby Brother Peter goes to Ohio State, the Ohio State University. We'll break. We'll come back with one
Okay.
more segment. We'll talk schedule release, and I know
Boom.
Tenneby and Rosen are both chomping at the bit to talk National Hockey League playoffs. We'll do that next as well. Common Man program on the Fan.
The Fan.
Double 13-14 pass, last segment of the show today. I'm Common. He's 10 to be the legendary Mark Rosen is here. Before we get to our NHL talk
Yes, sir.
and National Football League schedule release, Tenneby, you said there were a couple of talkbacks. Talkback is a really neat feature we have here on the Fan where if you have the iHeartRadio app, you'll see a microphone icon in the corner of the screen. You click it, you got 30 seconds or less to deliver a message. Tenneby, you said you had a couple talkbacks that are Twins related because we were talking Twins
Right.
earlier.
Yeah, I don't know which one to get to first. We'll just go in the order in which they were received.
I like that.
Here's number 1.
This is Jax, your UPS driver. The reason this sucks as a Twins fan this year is because we are hoping to finish first in a horrendous division. So we got to stick around for 162 games of this to hopefully finish first in just a god-awful division just to blow it in the playoffs because we don't have a chance. Super fun year.
He sounds bitter.
Well, have a nice summer.
You know what? That could be me, artificial intelligence, because that's kind of how I feel.
That's how you sound.
Well, that's how I feel, because I do feel that way, that
Yeah.
we're in a lousy division. We'll go 85 and whatever. We'll win, and then we'll lose 3 straight to somebody, and it'll be over.
18. Can't change that until you play the next game.
And then it'll be 0-21.
This next one I agree with 100%.
All right, here we go.
All right.
Yo, Tenneby, here's the situation with the Twins. The Twins got rid of the best pure hitter in baseball. He also had attributes of sparking up other teammates and getting lively. The Twins are severely missing that personality type. And also, hitting's very infectious. This is something where I think we should reevaluate that trade.
Well, Tenneby and I both were opposed to trading Arise for Pablo Lopez. I think we were the only two.
I don't know if you're the only two, but
About the only two. There have been a handful of others.
yeah.
But most people endorsed it. Now, I said I love getting good pitching. I love it. So I went along with it. And maybe that was the only way we were able to wrangle
Well-
Pablo Lopez away. The way he started, it looked like a terrific trade for the Twins. And it's still early.
They extended his
He's fine.
contract,
Well,
too.
now they've extended his contract.
Right.
They got so intoxicated and overwhelmed by his 2-0 start to 3 and whatever it was, where he had these Colfax-like numbers, that they decided we need to sign him now. And they got a good deal if he could continue to pitch like that. But ever since he signed, he's been rather ordinary, maybe slightly above average.
What was the Twins' record last year?
I don't recall. It was awful. They went to they lost 20 of their last 30 games.
And Arise was a big part of that team. And I love watching Luis Arise play. I miss watching him play. He is infectious for the team. But it necessarily didn't make them a better baseball team. because it's a team game.
That's fair. That's fair.
And I mean, it's not like if Luis Arraez was on this team right now, that it's, he'd get on base probably more, but you still have to have guys behind him in the lineup hit the ball. It's infectious to a point. I agree with that. I mean, it's the same type of way we're approaching it. I'm sure Rocco's got all the guys looking at all the tape and everyone's breaking down their own swing. I don't know if Luis Arraez would have made that kind of a difference right now. He's a really good hitter, and he does have a great mindset about inspiring his teammates.
You know he's hitting 408 right now, right?
Yeah, I know what he's hitting, but Miami's not setting the world on fire either. He's one guy. Miami's just a below average baseball team.
And look at the Yankees, tend to be.
Yeah. Look at the Angels. They've been terrible with Shohei Ohtani, so you don't want him on your team then.
Well, not this year they are.
You don't want Mike Trout on your team because they've been so bad even with them.
Well, there's other reasons besides those
Exactly.
two guys.
There's other reasons besides Arraez.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
And again,
My point.
your
Thank
point is you in order to get, you guys are the whining. The Twins never spend money on a pitcher. They never go out and get one. So they had to make what was a difficult trade, but one they felt was necessary to bolster one of the worst starting staffs in the game. You rather see, what's his name, Archer out there again? Look at they have the 4-inning.
But why can't you get this pitcher without trading Arraez? That's the point. I don't understand why.
Well, because he wasn't a free agent.
Archer was the best foreign pitcher I've ever seen.
He wasn't a free agent. That's why he had a trade. And I don't know what, I mean, I don't disagree with the trade. I think it's one of those things that can work out for both teams. Lopez has to stay healthy. Of course he does. But you certainly can't look at the starting staff of the Twins right now with Gray and Joe Ryan, who's, to me, he's got top quality ability. And Lopez, and then Bailey Ober looks like he's pretty decent, but they face good pitching a lot as well. It's up to the hitters to start making things happen. You can't score 1 and 2 runs a game and expect to win many games in Major League Baseball. It's not going to happen.
I shouldn't admit this working at the All Sports station, particularly because we're the radio home of the Minnesota Wild. The Stanley Cup playoffs are still taking place, right?
Who's the second round?
Who's playing and where we're at right now? I have no idea.
There are two Canadian teams left, and one of them is hanging by a thread because the Maple Leafs, after winning their first round and won 50 games this year, they're down 3-0 to the Florida Panthers, and they're going to play in Florida tonight. So that series, they may get swept. The lone hope for
hit bet.
Yeah, they are going to get swept.
Where is game 4?
What's that?
Where's game 4?
Florida.
All right, I'll pass on that.
Yeah. Edmonton Oilers with another Connor. I think that's his name.
Connor McDavid is overrated.
I mean, these hotbed of
what has
hockey.
Edmonton done with him on their roster over the last decade? So he's not that important, right, Rosie?
Oh my! Who are you comparing Connor McDavid with now?
Well, Luis Arraez is playing like Connor McDavid so far this season.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
He's hitting 408.
He's spot on, Mark.
Oh my!
You've been backed into a corner.
Yeah, I sure have. And the Heat is the reason why the Heat in Miami is the reason why the Knicks can't win a game in Miami right now.
The way he's backpedaling, he's completely recovered from that toe surgery already.
I can do the moonwalk. Oh, well, I mean. Again, it's
and the Kraken, are they still Kraken?
They're hanging in there.
They lost last night at home to Dallas.
Dallas will win that series.
There's been a lot of lopsided scores in the second round.
Where are they in that series?
That's 2-2.
Yeah, it is. But
well, then what do you mean Dallas is going to win?
I think Dallas is a better team.
Your guy Joe Pavelski had another goal last night. He has 6 in this series.
He thinks Dallas is going to beat the Kraken. Go ahead,
I do.
Hit that.
I do. I do think they're going to bet. Another $4 bet.
Let's go $4. I bet the Kraken.
Man, this is so much fun.
Are you willing to go the $4?
100%.
Very good.
Yes, I'll take Dallas.
Can you keep track of these bets? Because I forget what I've been betting on now.
There was a day you would never bet on anything that you don't have control of. Now you're like every 5 minutes you're making a wager.
I've got 12 on the Nuggets eliminating the Suns.
Right.
And then we have 4 on, what did I bet earlier?
Tonight's game between Golden State and the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, I got Lakers.
And then you got
for
Kraken
$4. I know I got
Stars game 5, which is tomorrow night.
No, not just game 5. This is for the series.
Oh, for the series.
Yeah, this is the series.
I mean, again, you got. Think about the Florida Panthers.
Power
Trip
trips.
bets. The poor guy spinning around right now. The Gold Knights, Vegas, again, another expansion team. Shocking, they're still playing hockey, and that series, they lead 2-1. They're playing tonight at Edmonton. But this is, I mean, it seems like the Wild were done 3 months ago, and it's only the second round.
Look at those numbers by Jimmy Butler this series.
Yeah.
Averaging 26.7, 48% field goal percentage, averaging 7 rebounds a game. All the guy does is win. All he does is win.
Another regular season that meant zilch. This is what I'm saying. It's just...
Well, yeah, I know, but you have to have them.
You have to play the games. You got to make the money. You got to have the revenue.
Make the money, and people want to go and watch.
No, I get it. No, I understand.
I only need playoffs. I don't need regular season.
Yeah.
Except in football, I like regular season.
Anyway, so that's what's going on tonight.
Tenneby, what are your thoughts on the NBA on the NHL playoffs right now?
Just generally speaking.
Yeah, I mean, not just who's winning games, but like, what do you think of how it's going is what I'm saying. Give us an in-depth hockey mind analysis of what's going on.
Well, I haven't been in-depth watching a lot of these second-round matchups.
They've been blowouts.
The Eastern Conference games, just based off my schedule with the kids, I don't get to see a lot when they're that early.
Right.
I've seen definitely more of the Seattle-Dallas series than anything. But, big game for Dallas last night. Down 2-1 to Seattle, who just has come out and played with energy and are scoring a bunch of goals on Jake Ottinger that the Wild couldn't do.
Yeah, they're doing everything the Wild didn't do.
Dallas had lost their best defenseman in Game 3 in Heiskanen, and they got were just getting rocked by Seattle. So a good bounce back game from them last night.
Yeah,
especially tightening things up defensively. Carolina's routing a pretty good young Devils team. I think probably the closest series. Well, the series most likely, obviously at this point, to go deep might be that Vegas Edmonton series.
Is Parisi playing on the Devils club? Is that who he plays with?
Yes, he's on the New Jersey.
Parrish is big on Carolina. That's the team he thinks are.
I had Carolina Edmonton in the Stanley Cup Finals before the playoffs.
Well, I got Kraken getting all the way. Show you who the great hockey mind is. Schedule release
tomorrow. Some of it today, but most of it tomorrow.
The Black Friday game, first ever. Aaron Rodgers and the New York Football Jets. And who are they playing again? Tenneby? I forgot who you said.
What was the question? The Jets and
Black Friday.
Yeah.
I think they play Miami.
They play Miami Dolphins.
One of many appearances by A-Rod on national TV.
And then they mentioned they had the international games, but none of them affect the Vikings. I don't think there was a NFC North team in any of those games.
Yeah, for the first time, a team will stay there for 2 straight weeks, Jacksonville, which is kind of their second home. Will be remaining in Europe. I think the second game is at Tottenham, where the Vikings played the Saints last year. But
did I say Parisi was on the Devils? I'm sorry.
They're not. He's on the Devils.
I don't know why I said that. Yeah, he was on the New York Islanders. They were eliminated.
Oh, the Islanders.
First round. He was on the Devils back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't really listening.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. You're by the time we're on tomorrow afternoon, I bet the Viking schedule will be leaked. Even though it's not supposed to be till 7:00 tomorrow night or something.
I did a mock NFL schedule release yesterday.
I love it.
I had the Vikings opening. Matter of fact, by coincidence, it's a preview of the NFC Championship game. It'll be the Falcons and the Vikings in the NFC Championship game, and you're on your own after that. I can't pick after that. And I have the Vikings opening at Atlanta this year. It's a preview of the NFC Championship.
I didn't realize you've been playing Atlanta this year. Mm-hmm. Okay, all right. I haven't looked at their opponents. I mean, I've looked at some. I know they got Kansas City at home. They got the 49ers. They got the Eagles. They got. But the overall schedule I saw...
It's very difficult.
Well, no, but
it's very difficult.
It looked difficult, but then the overall records of the teams they're playing wasn't that difficult.
Mark, they're playing the 49ers.
I know who they're playing.
They're playing the Eagles.
Yeah.
They're playing the Bengals and...
But the rest of the schedule, I don't know. Maybe.
49ers, Eagles, Bengals, and one other division
top
champion.
Team.
I mean, that could be 4 losses.
Sure.
Right out of the gate.
Sure.
Then you lose twice to Detroit. Now you have 6 losses.
Okay.
You split with Green Bay, you have 7 losses.
Not gonna
you
lose
split with
twice.
Chicago. How do you know they won't lose twice to Detroit? You're the one that was telling me Detroit is just they're
the darlings.
They're the fashionable pick now.
I believe in KOC.
I remember.
I love this Vikings team.
I remember when you met him. It was out at training camp. He came pulling up in a cart, and you were just staring.
Was that him
at
or was that Kwesi?
No, that was.
Was that before or after my bee sting?
That was before the bee sting, and you were just staring at him like
I wasn't
like a schoolgirl.
staring at him. Oh my God! I wasn't staring at him. He happened to come up on this stage up there. I don't get that way anymore.
Well, you were that day.
No, I
That
was
must
not.
have- You just couldn't wait to meet him. Jumped up out of your chair and ran over there.
Didn't run over
Tell him you're
anywhere.
the legendary one.
I didn't
and everybody got
say
excited.
anything
I
about
didn't
that.
even introduce myself to him. I'm just a low. I'm so
Low-hanging
beneath all that.
fruit.
I'm just so below all that. I'm just a middle and mid.
Well, sometimes it's good to meet people, and you just want to introduce
He doesn't
yourself.
want to meet me.
Well,
I'm just he's got important things to do. He's got an NFC. He's got a new culture to develop. He's got an
Yeah.
NFC champion. He's got to try to get his team to the NFC championship game. He has no time for some mid-level,
midday host.
some low-level loser host that doesn't even really care about the club. He doesn't care.
Here's what the Lions.
What I did at Hagen's retirement party, PA was doing some kind of a little shtick, and I went up
remember.
to. I just went over to. I didn't even introduce myself to O'Connell, but I said, "You ought to have that guy give the pregame pep talk one day." And he looked at me and laughed, and I just turned around and walked away. And he's probably going, "Who was that clown with the
About PA?
with the headband?" No, yeah, I was talking about PA, but I'm saying
Yeah.
that's what I said to him.
Right,
You should get
that's
PA
funny.
to do it, and then he just looked at me and went, "Who's that clown with the
Well-
headband and the long hippie hair?"
Somebody's got to replace Greg Coleman for doing the pregame preach, I guess. Why not PA? Just ask him.
Yeah, well, he's very religious.
He'll do it.
I think he probably would.
Yeah, so that's tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow, the big NFL schedule release. And
When I just saw Adam Schefter tweet the mileage travel totals for each team this upcoming
you
season.
got to be kidding me.
The Seattle Seahawks have the most total mileage, 31,600 miles. They will go through 36 time zones this year.
That's a recipe for disaster.
The Vikings have the fifth least, only 13,226 miles.
Well,
They'll go through 16 time zones.
Central part of the country, so then you're less
Right.
travel east and west
Right.
coast.
saw Sean Payton sitting next to his
Well, that's
quarterback, Russell Wilson, last
Gonna be
night.
who was it that said that's like a 6,000 mile?
Yeah.
John Gruden said that, yeah.
It's 6,000 miles between
I always
what did he
love
say
that
between
one.
Green Bay and Seattle or something?
Yes.
Remember that?
He said it was 6,000 miles.
By covered wagon? What?
6,000 miles. I think he meant from Green Bay to Seattle, Seattle to Green Bay to Seattle,
Yeah,
and then back
somewhere.
again. Yeah, that's what I think he meant. He meant like doing it 3 different times.
It's funny.
Yeah.
How come no one ever brings this up when they talk about time zones and body clocks?
They will
The Vikings
now.
are in a beneficial position.
That's it.
Yeah.
They are in a beneficial position.
That's taken into consideration. I heard O'Connell, he was on with Florio. Was it Florio?
I don't know.
He was on PA show. I heard part of the interview today.
Okay.
He sat down with him. And I think
Part
he was,
you heard?
well, they were talking about
Right.
schedules and what he looks for when the schedule comes out. He says, well, the first thing I look for is divisional opponents. And obviously when we play and then, breaking it down, but, doing the best job we can if we play on a Thursday night and we got, all that kind of stuff that goes into the planning to put the players in the best position
That's
to succeed.
complicated to be an
It's
NFL
so
head coach.
complicated.
Man.
I know.
What did you other than the only jobs where you have to make more decisions than an NFL head coach is NBA head coach and a fighter pilot. After that, I mean, think of how complicated O'Connell's. God, when do the games come up? Then we play a Thursday and then got to play next Sunday.
Well, you
and
just
then a
asked
Monday.
about it. I don't know.
Well, it's
He wasn't like-
complicated. It's very complicated.
That's 17
Do
of
you
them.
think- Has he ever consulted with Karn?
I don't think he has consulted with Karn. No.
All right.
She's got a copy of the schedule.
Of course she does.
No, she doesn't, actually.
Will she leak it?
No, she doesn't have it. And
Oh, she
got
does.
other priorities right
I
now,
know
getting
she
healthy.
does. I know she's got it. Don't pretend you said it. You knew you shouldn't have said it. So
No,
then you
she
said
doesn't
did.
have it.
You know the schedule yourself, and
Maybe
you've
I
been
do.
sworn to secrecy.
Maybe I do.
Why don't you go work for Kevin Warren? We'll see you tomorrow at 2.
Oh, you're such a delight.
See you
Yes,
at 2.
yes,
Timothy,
sir.
thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
You as well. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon. Big Ticket and JG are next on The Fan.
Folks, and night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
Well done, young man!
Listen back to any of Common Man's podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.